to finish at 4 o'clock, because I know people have trains to catch. So now I want to introduce our next speaker, who has come all the way to us from Pretoria in South Africa. It is a truly incredible story. Kobus Visser is a man who was born with haemophilia. He's a man who wakes up every morning rigid and stiff, because when he sleeps at night, the constant pain he's in by day gets into his body and he literally cannot move. He is a global speaker, and I'd like to thank our friends in Fleet Management, Haynes's, who made today possible in sponsoring this particular talk. Viking the Visser, basically he had a really difficult life. He wasn't able to go to school, and he is truly inspiring now at 42 years of age how he has taught people to go through fire, to walk on glass, because he believes that your mindset absolutely controls everything in terms of pain management and everything else. He's called the Viking because he dresses like a Viking, and he's pretty imposing. We're really honoured to have him here today, but I feel I can't do justice to exactly how motivational and inspirational he is. So before we play the video, what he's going to talk about is his 12 tips on scaling up your business. Whether that's 6 inches off the ground or whether it's a big business, he has spoken about this all over the world. So scaling up is the particular thing. But enough from me, let's take a look at the Viking himself.
Get that focused. What is your want? Your want. How many of you are willing to step up? Step up and raise our standards. We need to challenge ourselves to get out of our comfort zone.
He's just got a beautiful heart. He's authentic. He's real. He wants to make the world a better place.
Just walked on fire. We're brilliant.
As you see, I'm Kobus with a C, first of the Viking. I want to say Gerish, Meriget, and it's great to be here today. And I know I might know a couple vocal of Irish or English words. I try my best with the pronunciation. But they said my English is very delicious. I know I've spoken it since I've been twice. I might be exaggerating a little bit. However, it's okay with you if we archive it in the past and be in the room to learn and challenge yourself to step up your game. Mahatma Gandhi said everything starts with a belief, because our beliefs become our thoughts. As a man thinketh, so is he. Because the moment we start thinking about it, our words follow. There's even a book that says life and death is in the power of the tongue, and those who love to use it will bear the fruit of it. Our words then followed by our actions become our habits become our values, and that ultimately creates our destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, you have the power to create any destiny you want. Exactly a year ago, I spoke to Eugene, and I said, next year I'm speaking at the AIBF. I said, Kobus, I pray that you get in. A year later, I'm here. A week before this event, or 2 weeks before this event, I got the opportunity to know that I'm coming to Ireland to speak. Taking a dream, I think in Gaelic it's an Ishla or Ishli. Am I right pronouncing it that way? About having a vision and a dream, but how to make that vision and dream a reality. My question to you in Ireland is, I believe you are living at the best time, the best economy that Ireland has ever seen. Am I right? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Right? And that's the belief that we have to have, that the abundance is all around us. Now there's a story that happened with little Johnny Sexton. And it happened when he was small and he got sick, playing rugby, and got injured and he was sent home. And little Johnny couldn't now play with his friends or go to school, so he was stuck at home. At that time of life, when he grew up, there was no PlayStation, there was no social media. So he goes this one afternoon being bored, and he goes to his mom, and he taps on his mom. He says, Mom, please play with me, I'm bored. And the mom says, my son, can't you see I'm busy? Go to your dad. But dad is reading the newspaper. Now I don't know about Ireland, but in South Africa, if your dad is reading the newspaper, you leave him alone. Am I right? Yeah. Was it the same in Ireland? Yeah. We're more than alike, right? And so he tiptoes to his dad. He goes, Dad. But dad doesn't listen, so he goes louder. Dad, please play with me, I'm bored. And dad says, little Johnny, can't you see I'm busy? Go to your mom. And then he cries. He's like in tears. And as he cries, he walks to his mom, like, Mom. And as we all know, moms, their hearts smell like chocolate when their children cry. And so, my son, what am I going to do? And she looks, and in the back of the newspaper is a map of the world. And she says, Dad, give that newspaper here. And so Dad hands it over. And she takes the map of the world, and she tears it into little pieces. And she gives him, here's a puzzle, Johnny. Go put it together. Now, for us to be finished with that story later, my goal for you is to find your purpose and to become more fearless in business. My whole philosophy is based on the foundations of the history of the Vikings, and just speaking with a few of you outside about how the Viking has impacted Ireland as well in the history. Am I right? Yes or yes?
Yes.
And so a few things that stand out for me about the Viking and that we need in business is, before we want to become fearless, is to have courage. As a business owner, you have to have the courage to be able to take calculated risks in times that are tough. I have a friend of mine speaking about during the 2008, he had to go see the banks. They wanted to foreclose. I know the banks in Ireland were all had to be saved. And so he had to go approach them, and he had the courage to take them on and say, you're not going to do this to me. And they came in because he had the courage. The other thing is, when we start our business, it's for us to create freedom. Am I right? Yes or yes? Yes. That's why we're in business, right? We think we're going to start a business, we can have more time, right? But is that the reality?
No.
You actually have no time. You actually work for the worst boss in your business, right? And that's you, because you work 24/7. But I think the main thing is, speaking to Eugene last night, he spoke about the reason why he built his business was to leave a legacy for his two sons, for the next generation. So what is the legacy you're building and leaving behind? And what are your focus on in that building that legacy? My whole foundation is values. I want to just mention a few of those values. This is my blueprint. And one of my blueprint is the 9 values of the Vikings. It comes down to having heart in business, to persevere in tough times, to live by honor, to have discipline, to constantly take action on a consistent basis, to have truth, fidelity, and live through courage. That is values. Now, my question is, I asked a few outside before we started, what is the values of your business? And some of you couldn't even answer me. The values are the foundation of your business. If you don't even know your values, you're going to attract the wrong customers. You're going to attract the wrong people to come and work for you. And so what is the values you live on? Now, is it okay with you if I share a little bit about me and who I am? Is it okay with everyone? Can I hear a yes?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
No, no?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Born ready. So, my first son, when he was born, I could never pick him up. I could never hold my son, and the only time that I could hold him was when I had to lie on the bed and hold him until the pain was gone, and I had to give him back. The impact of this with my son was when we were expecting our second child. He drew this picture with a little baby, and across of the baby says, "Daddy, I don't want a little sister. I want a little brother that can play with me because you can't." And he goes on to explain, and he comes to me and he has a cross over me, and at 4 years old, he uttered this following words that, "Dad, you are dead to me." We all have this moment in our life that is a catalyst moment that excels us, propels us in a new direction. I was part of our whole family business, one of the biggest independent furniture stores in retail in South Africa and the northern parts. That was my whole dream, my vision. And when that was said, it all fell apart. It put me on the path that I am today. Now, just to share with you a little bit, you asked me because why couldn't you play with your son? Anyone here knows what a hemophiliac is? Anyone knows what a hemophiliac is? Anyone that doesn't know what a hemophiliac is, can I at least see those hands, right? A hemophiliac is a bleeder. It's called also the royal disease. It comes from Queen Victoria. And it means my blood doesn't clot. So with all of the bleedings over the years, my joints have disintegrated. When I was born, my life expectancy was 11 years old. Now, if you take one of your elbows and just make it as straight as possible, you can see how straight your goes. This is how straight mine goes. Touch your shoulder. Can't even touch my shoulder. Now, the one thing is, I would have loved to arm wrestle you, but I don't have the muscles because I don't have the joints. I can't exercise. The doctor says, "Kobus, your elbow is just being held together by tissue." You all agree that's my reality, right? And this is my little 2 reasons why. And I just want to share with them because whenever I have a talk, they ask me afterwards, "Dad, what did you talk about? How was the audience? Did you share our special thing?" And I'm going to share our special thing with you. And so I just want to give you a glimpse into my pride and joy. Phrases. Let's make memories. And so one thing that impacted throughout immersion was the one thing that I want to teach you now. And so I would love Alan, if he can come up, I would love to do it because of what he spoke about this morning. But we have this South African Zulu word that says sawubona. Can I hear all say sawubona?
Sawubona.
It means I see you. And so the power of this I see you is when I started doing this activity with my son, he drew this picture and he said, "Dad, you are alive. You are my hero." And it's something called a hug. But it's the right way of doing a hug, right? Anyone here loves giving hugs? Can I teach you the most beautiful intentional hug? Is it okay if I teach you that?
Please teach me, please. I'm just wondering, you're very big, you're very big, and now that I know your history, it means that you're not as strong as I think you are, so I feel much better now.
The thing is, Adam, you don't have to worry, I'm not going to kiss you as well.
Okay, well, that's
Just a hug, right? And it's intentional, and by asking people, they're always open to learn. So the hug works in a few processes. The first process is to make eye contact. Why is the eye so important, Alan?
Because they're the windows to your soul.
Yes. But it also shows the person in front of you that you acknowledge them, that you are present. And by being present, you are ready to be in that moment. You're not rushed. That's the first step. The second step, what is this side of your body?
It's my left hand side of my.
Yeah, what sits here?
Actually, it sits here. The heart, you're going for the heart. The heart was here.
Today we say there.
Okay, yeah, well, I can tell you no, because I thought I had a heart attack.
Okay, so we said the heart is here, right?
And the aorta goes all the way down there. I know that too.
Powerful.
Yes.
And what does the heart symbolize?
The heart symbolizes love. It symbolizes the beatingness in your heart. Is actually.
So the second step is to have heart to heart, because it's about the intention of sharing love. And then the third step is when we hug, we breathe in together. And when you do that moment, and it's usually 6 seconds or longer, the brain releases serotonin. It makes you feel good, or dopamine. So does it go if I give you a hug?
Yes, okay, yeah.
So first step, eye contact.
Can I just make one? The only eye contact you're giving me right now, it's fucking freaky. It's like, because, you know, when we connect eyes for too long, then it's just weird.
No kissing.
No, okay, no kissing, but it's still.
So we say Salbona.
Salbona.
Emotional, right? I want you to quickly stand up, give two people a hug. This way, Salbona, heart to heart, breathe in and sit down.
Eugene, I guess you're the first one. Give me some. Are we doing his time? We're just talking. Or did you?
He's talking about party when
Oh, you didn't do it 6 seconds.
October 21.
Really, yeah.
The eyes are very important.
That's what you were up there.
They were. October 21. It's like a week, 3 months a month, there's a whole lot of text to it.
Once you've given your hugs, please sit down and be ready. So my question to you, are you ready? Yes. Born ready. Are you ready?
Born ready.
Can you all notice the energy change in the room?
Yes.
It's all about the energy. Now the hug, I usually challenge before a board meeting for people to start hugging because it sets the focus and the trend. It brings you in the room. So my challenge to you is to go share this intentional hug. One of the charities is the Mental Health Organization. And one thing about it is you never know who needs a hug. It's not about you, ladies and gentlemen, it's about the people that needs the hug. 2015, I wake up one morning and I can't walk. The doctor says, Kobus, you have to get both your ankles replaced, you have to get your elbows fused. Any doctors in the room? No doctors? The x-ray just shows that I don't have ankles. It takes me an hour to get out of bed in the morning. So I live through that pain on a daily basis. In 2015, I was in a wheelchair. You all agree that was the reality. The doctor said, Kobus, this is your destiny. You're going to be in a wheelchair, we can take away the pain. You all agree that's reality, right? But I want to teach you that you have the power to change that reality if you are willing to grow through the pain. The thing is, anything good takes time. One step after each other. Not like McDonald's where you get a 1 minute and you get your meal. You really want a good food, you wait a few minutes. Am I right? Yes or yes?
Yes.
You have to push yourself through the opportunity to get uncomfortable. And so one of the activities that changed my life was when I walked through fire for the first time. Now it's not a normal Tony Robbins fire, this is actually real fire walking, by the way. It's where you really go through 500 to 600 degrees Celsius because you have the mindset, if I can do this, I can do anything. And so imagine if you start believing in your potential from a young age. My son, my greatest achievement was when he was 2 years old, starting to walk on fire. Now the challenge is, I can't say no to my son anymore with an excuse or blaming, because the thing is, if I say something, he says, but Dad, you said if I can walk on fire, I can do it. Anything. Now it becomes a challenge. I need to be cautious about my words, right? It's so powerful that when my other son was 3 years old, his grandmother said, you're not walking on that fire, you're going to get burned. And limiting beliefs stops us from growing. Your belief about customers, about money, stops you from growing your business. It took my oldest son 8 years to conquer that limiting belief, to walk on fire for his first time. We need to do things that challenges us to change our beliefs about what is possible. Now, I want to share with you, I had suddenly this vision. Either I stay in a wheelchair or I do something crazy. Have you ever heard of a mountain by the name of Kilimanjaro? So I set myself a goal to go climb Kilimanjaro. But the thing is, when you're on Kilimanjaro, you can't do it alone. You have to have a team with you. You are as strong as your team. And because I couldn't walk easily, I had to put my life's hands into two porters, my angels. One to pull me up, and the other one to make sure I don't fall. I had to rely on them to build and climb this mountain. And I remember they saying to me is, every time I looked up, the mountain seemed so big. And all they said was, Kobus, look down. Can you see your next step? And that's my thing to you today in your business is, when you look down, focus just on giving your next step. Because the moment you rise your eyes to the top, you will see how close you've come. And you might just on the way be the opportunities to experience the most amazing views. This is the highest sunrise in Africa. However, on this journey, as we climb this mountain of business and life, there might be times that you want to give up. And me and Eugene spoke last night. He said there was a time during the beginning of his business that he felt when there was this imports from Japan happening, that it was like, am I still going to have a business? And he said, I'm not going to give up. Because the moment my friend stood next to me, he said, and he gave me a hug. He said, Kobus, just remember why you came to climb this mountain. And before I knew it, I had the energy to push through. That consistent action to push through. And I just got to Stella Point, and Alan spoke about this morning, that in his group, only out of 18 out of 35 people made it to the top of the mountain. Ladies and gentlemen, no matter where you are, if you have excuses, you won't make it. I had all the excuses, I have crutches. But I didn't use that excuse because I have a belief of doing whatever it takes. I wish I could have my book here. My book is only coming out in July, so I would have loved to share more story, but I want to get to the facts of the time that we have about the 12 disciplines. And so I'm looking forward to sharing with you the future with my book. Now, I want to give you the philosophy about these principles. It's about doing whatever it takes. And so one of my clients is 52 years old. He's driving racetrack cars, GT3. He's doing it for a hobby. And I come to him and I say, well, okay, your business is struggling. Your business is an extension of yourself. Let's change that around. Let's create an environment of success. Let's go win the championship. He says, I'm racing against people half my age. I said, there's a process we have to follow. We have to upskill yourself. You have to get glasses. You have to increase your skill. And as we did that, as he constantly raced, he constantly looked at the words, whatever it takes. Ladies and gentlemen, when you apply all of it and you take all of the steps, the next thing you need in business is to have faith. Because on the last lap of the last race was between him and two other drivers. Whoever wins the championship. What's the chances that the last two cars runs out of gas on the last lap? And he goes and he wins the championship. Anyone that is rugby fans in the room? Any Leinster fans, by the way? Good, I'm citing for you against the Bulls, don't worry. But in 2017, I was called up with the Kings, South African rugby team there last year, and they couldn't win more than 2 games in the previous 2 seasons. And they applied the philosophy of whatever it takes. Running every time before they run out on the stadium, running on cold and said whatever it takes. And that year they went on to win the best teams in the competition. It was 2 games they lost in the last minute, but if they won those, they would have been in the semis. You have your destiny in your own hands. The challenge that I see in business is the red flags is everyone has meetings on meetings. Have you found that in business? You constantly have a meeting and then you do a meeting because of the meetings you had. And so we never get to our business. Another red flag in our business by Gallup that is done is that our bad managers creates bad staff creates unhappy customers. And the next one is leadership. Your leadership style is responsible for 30% of your company profits. If you just upskill yourself in your leadership style, you can grow your business by 30%. My question to you, Ireland, are you the person that focuses on the beauty and the potential of what is there? Or are you the one that constantly looks at the shit house at the bottom? Always looking at the problems and not looking at the beauty and the solution and the potential. My question to you is, where do you look? So let's look at the 12 disciplines of scaling a business. You're welcome to take photos when it's up, because I'm not going to be able to go through all 12 disciplines one by one. But this is what separates the elite few to 10x their business. So it's a blueprint, and it shows you that 25% of your success is what you focus on. It's what is your strategy, what is your execution plan. That is 25%. 50% is your people. Is what do you bring your A game, and have you built an A team to deliver a result? Have you created an A team of board and advisors? And the other 25% falls into finances and operations. So ladies and gentlemen, if you just want to 10x your business, you just have to focus on the 75%. Because that will automatically impact the other side, am I right? Now, you're going to take a photo. This is just to have all of them on one slide. So this is first, of the 12 is the 8 business disciplines. You're welcome to take a photo. And it just shows you, how to build an A team, craft a winning strategy, execute, etc. So please just take a photo. I will also talk to maybe send out an email with the slides so that everyone can look into it. And then the 4 personal disciplines is then focus on scaling your organization. And this is why we are here today. How do we scale our business? How do we bring our A game? How do we grow our skills? And how do we be true to ourselves? So the secret is strategy and you. And let me touch on a few of them and just give you some valuable information. There's one quote that I like to say is, in today's world, annual strategy session doesn't work anymore. Anyone here still yearly sits down and do a yearly strategy session? Anyone? Can I see your hands? Anyone does it on a quarterly basis? Because my challenge is the world is changing so fast, is to do it on a quarterly basis. And so there's one client, when they started changing it during COVID, they had their worst time. And all that we did during COVID was to adjust, only focusing on their people and their strategy. What would you do if you can grow your business by 80%? By just making a few tweaks. What would it mean into your business? Another business, imagine you can grow by 250%. And all that they did was we focus on the strategy, the vision, the values of the organization, and the people. Creating a team culture. So that's the one thing. I want to share with you the execution blueprint. Welcome to take photos. The main important thing for me on this is the top part. What is your vision? A lack of vision will make you perish. What is that big goal you want to achieve? You want to go win that championship. You want to do whatever it takes to live without excuses. Because the thing is, whatever it takes is so powerful. Have you ever heard someone say, I will do my best? Have you ever heard it? Please don't believe them, they lie. Because the thing is, they can still have excuses and blame others. But if I say I will do whatever it takes, I will do
whatever it takes.
I will do
Whatever it takes.
And then the main other important foundation of this blueprint is your values. Your values is to communicate your values to your clients, to your staff, and to live by them. If you don't live by your values, you attract the wrong clients, you attract the wrong staff members. Because people buy from?
People.
So quick exercise. Write down your top 3 animals without thinking about it. Your top 3 animals. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Don't overthink it. just write them down. Have you written it down? Quickly share it in your table. Just quickly shout out to what is your top 3 animals. Okay, are you ready? Let's quickly count this on. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Born ready.
Are you ready?
Born ready. Born ready.
Born ready. You're not just ready, you are born ready. Anyone would like to share quickly their 3 animals to me?
A dog, a lion, and a bear.
Dog, lion, and a bear. Anyone else?
Lion, elephant, and monkey.
Lion, elephant, and monkey.
Horse, cow, hen.
Horse, cow, and a hen. So what I want you to think about is a good personality test. You can have fun with your friends, you can have fun with your clients. There's positive characteristics about that animal, and there's also negative characteristics. The first animal, you can write this down, is how you want the world to see you. This is the mask you put out to the world and say, look at me, this is who I am.
I'm a dog.
Right? The second animal is actually how the world experiences you.
Like a cat.
I see some laughter.
Yeah.
You might laugh now even more. The third animal is who you really are. Now,
I'm a dog.
it's a fun exercise. Usually when I hear these animals, it gives me a real insight of who you are and how to approach you. However, if you live on the negative side, if I give you an example, if you chose a lion,
Did you see me as a horse?
you might be the circus lion that everyone trades upon. That does not live to their full potential of being a lion, the king of the jungle. Because you have to do circus tricks. So which side of the animal are you? The positive or the negative? Because it's all about how do we create and build an A team. Anyone here knows what is the values of the Irish rugby team? No one? They've done a bad. Anyone knows anyone that is part of the rugby of Irish? I would love to talk to them. Is there anyone that can introduce me, by the way? Please do an introduction. Because their values, by the way, if you don't know, it's fun, it's inclusivity, it's excellence, it's integrity. Right? They have values they need to live by, but they don't communicate it even to their audience. Because it's become a nice thing against the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, your values mean nothing if it's against the wall. And so I want to teach you about a process of building a team. So as you saw, Dion Davids is one of my clients. He's the assistant Springbok coach with the Springboks. Just won the World Cup. And we spoke the other day, and processes that was built, the A team of the Springboks was built in the following. It's not to create the right process. It's about building a process that wins. And so there's 7 things. One is you have to get the right people. You've noticed if you go look at him that he's just hired new people. He hired the right people that have what he wants to do in his vision. The second thing is then get your team to work together, create a culture. What is that culture like? What is that standard of your team of performance? The third thing that they did is they showed them what to do and how they want them to do it, and they go and lead them to do it. So as a leader, you have to lead your team to do it the way you want to do it. What is that standard? And then you get them to put in the effort. And once they put in the effort, here's a secret business they don't do, they don't measure. Measure the result of the effort they put in. Because around the world, you get people that are doing slow striking, that strikes by doing only 50% of capacity of what they can do. Evolve with them and constantly improve. And once you do this, you can stand back and you can let and see the success happens on the field, because then you can't do anything as a coach. Springbok coaches had to stand back and look at what was done. And when you stand back, and karate takes up to a black belt to break a wooden board. When I stood back with my son and I did this process, He stepped up and he broke a board with his hand, pushing through. The next thing that you have to do for your business, even if you're a one-man band, is create a board of advisors. Anyone here that has a board of advisors for their business? A few. And the rest of you? So my challenge to you is, even if your business is small, is do you have a board that you meet with on a quarterly basis that keeps you accountable, that people that have the knowledge, that have the skills to be able to help you grow in the areas that you want to grow? And so I know Paul Mahoney knows one of our friends up here, by the way. Paul, you see, you know someone? Perfect. The true power lies in your business is to not work in your business. It's to work on your business. That's why the strategy and the execution part is so important. We don't step back and work on our businesses. We try to heat up and fire out as much as possible, and it takes time. And the next thing is, if you can't measure, you can't manage. I spoke to a friend of mine yesterday. He said every month he's looking at the numbers. He just doesn't look at the statements. He looks at everything. How's the customer retention going? When he did this exercise a few years ago, he found out that 80% of his business comes from one client. Imagine your business, that client cancels. What will happen to your business? But if you never sit back and really analyze the numbers and look at the metrics, you will never know when it's too late. So my thing to you is, and I've seen a few businesses outside here, is to analyze your business. You know, one tool that I like to use is an X-ray. That X-rays your business. It shows you all the red flags in all of the areas of your business. It helps with strategy when you need to strategize. What do you need to focus on? Is your business mature? Is your business at a place where it's investor ready and be sold? Because when you do this, you can have more targeted focus on what areas you need to focus on first. So my question to you is, are you analyzing what is the real red flags in your business? Because the thing is, once you have it, you have a targeted list of what to do in your business. It comes down to strategy and execution again. Do you have the right strategy in place? Or did you just go on a Saturday and put a strategy together and went for a dream fest and a few Guinnesses afterwards? Am I right? That does happen in business, am I right? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Now, the secret about doing assessments is first it helps you to diagnose your business. It helps you to create with your exco and your team alignment. It helps you to get your business unstuck. Because sometimes happens our businesses get stuck. And it helps you to grow your business systematically. And that's my challenge to you is grow your business, analyze your business, measure it, and then you can know what you've implemented if it works. You can do it on a consistent basis. You all remember Johnny Sexton? You know, he was small, he just had a puzzle given by his mom to go put together. And as he goes, he comes back like he says, Mommy, look, I've put the puzzle back together. And the mom says, my son, how did you do that? He says, Mom, it was the easiest thing in the world. When I turned the pieces around, I saw the face of the person. The moment I fixed the person, the world was fixed. Sometimes it's not about what is happening around us in the world that impacts us and our business. It's what we do to ourselves. Listening to Eugene sharing this morning about how he is working on himself and he's in a good place. He's invested into his own self. I had the opportunity to meet him during 2022 or 21 during COVID. And I had the opportunity to walk a path with him. I walked a path with him and he became one of my closest friends. We've traveled the world, we've done crazy things. He came down to South Africa when it was just still COVID and there was unrest in South Africa. And all of his friends said, no, you can't go. He said, I'm not listening to the negative. I'm going because I know what I can get. And he comes down and I got him to walk 108 times in fire on one night. He never knew. He's like, Kobus, what are you making me do? He said, I'm making you walk on fire. And I'm going to ask him to come up because I'm putting him on the spot, so you can come up, so my friend. He's going to come and do something that some of you might seem as impossible. How many of you believe glass cuts? Broken glass, by the way. Why do we believe that? We believe it because of past experiences, am I right? Yes or yes? We believe it because of future potential of getting hurt, yes or yes? So we've created this fear that is not real yet. Now I'm going to get my friend to simply share about our journey together while I'm getting the glass ready. And maybe while I'm speaking, you can quickly just take your shoes off if you don't mind.
Thank you.
I'm getting to be bare feet. And this is what I love about Eugene, because when I met him, he went through a challenging time during COVID, like we all did. But this man I've never seen take on challenges like I've seen ever before. Ready to step up and do something that is uncomfortable. And so I'm gonna, do we have a microphone? So while I'm getting the glass ready, I just wanted to give a word or two about the experience of us meeting and what it did for you in your life.
Yes, starting off in 2020 around March, I saw this glimpse of the State of the Nation coming on RTE. Now, I don't look at television, but there was an awful lot going wrong at the time. And I listened to about less than 5 minutes of the State of the Nation speech. And I decided I was going to be a refugee from all of this. I was going to go outside of the matrix to sort myself out. Through an entity, a branding called the Circle of Excellence, which is Googleable, I started going on webinars, listening to people, mainly spiritual people from around the world, some of the best known names in the world over a period of time. This is 2020. Moving through into 2021, I got particularly attracted to listening to a mind power guru by the name of Robin Banks, again a friend of Cobus. I listened to him and he was credible and he was entertaining. Through that same venue, I came across Cobus in around June 21. We got to know one another online, and then in August, he said, "When are you coming down?" I said, "Coming down to what?" He said, "Coming down for a fire walk retreat." I said, "You must be joking." And I thought about it, and I said, "Hang on a second. I've always been a little bit mad. Here's a chance to get truly certified." So I headed down, and I thought, after 3 or 4 days, I'll tattle on the walk. The first night through, and there was about 14 on this course, and I walked on fire, and I attended 6 international fire walk gatherings since then. Made lots of new friends. No hard luck story out of the nightmare that I had to escape because I was limping in 2021, and I want to thank this man for beating me from it. Thank you for listening.
And one thing about Eugene said is like, why walk on glass? Because I would have loved to walk on fire. Like, well, we need to demonstrate to you that everything is possible. But I want 2 volunteers quickly just to come and assist me with something with Eugene. I need 2 volunteers that were willing to step up. One can stand here at the bottom, and one just can stand with me on top. You can have your shoes on, by the way. You can come. So, do you want to be on top or the bottom? Maybe not the right question to ask. A bit top. Okay, can someone just come and stand here? There's a gentleman. No, thank you. So, Chantal. And by the way, I never knew, this is a good close friend from a close friend of mine from South Africa. Seeing a partner came through to be at this summit, and we just ran into each other last night. I'm like, what are you doing here? So Bona. So she knows. Can you just hold that brass for me? So Eugene, are you ready to come and step up? So I just want to make it a little bit longer. Now, this is real glass, by the way. Me and Eugene, for the last 3 nights, have had to go through a lot of wine bottles. to make this. So we're a little bit tipsy at the moment, a little bit of a headache, but it was worth it to be here. Now, Santana's going to come stand here and going to hold her hand. You can give me the mic for now. So the secret is before he walks is, as Santana holds her hand like this, right? The lesson is, as a business owner, is that it's okay, ask for help. So reach out and ask for help on your journey. So one step at a time, and remember my journey on Kilimanjaro? It takes one step. Just focus on giving slowly the next step, and then before you get off. Now we know to remember that there's people that's going to serve us on this spot. We're not meant to do this alone in business. And so this beautiful gentleman, when he lifts his foot at the back, I want you just to wipe down. Not up, wipe down. So just lift it to the back. Just lift your feet back once in a while. Yeah. And then the other feet again, just lift it backwards. And there's no blood. No blood. Give him a big round of applause, by the way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is my lesson to you as business owners. Always bring your A game. Build yourself into the best leader possible. Constantly improve yourself. Gather the tools so you can lead any team. It might be a one-man person business. However, there's so many other people that you can count on that can become part of your company. If you want to scale up, you need people to scale your business. And so as I come to the end, I'm lucky to be here for the next 2 days still. And so for the next 2 days, I'm only flying back on Friday evening. And I have the opportunity, so if any one of you want to come spend time with me, Eugene has openly given me his meet sheet. I'm giving out the invitation, it's free, it's nothing, and if you want to come and just speak and talk about your business, and we do a small mastermind, and I help you to grow your business, and we go a little bit deeper, it's my gift to thank AIBF, Elaine, and the whole team, and especially Eugene, for the opportunity to be here today. So if you want to come, you're welcome to take, I am on the Bella app as well, or you can just take a QR code and contact me on WhatsApp. This meet suite can't take a lot of people, so it's going to be tomorrow from, we're going to show up from 11 o'clock to the latest 2 o'clock, and then again on Friday. So if you have time and you want to come and you say, Kobus, I want to come work and I want to talk about how to do this. Even if you can't make it, please also reach out to me and connect. I'd like to make new friends. As time has run out, I'm probably one of the good speakers that ends on time, right? You know, and I'm 11 seconds over. But I want to say from my side, thank you again. It's been an honor. Please follow and like me on social media. It's Kobus the Viking. And are you ready?
Born ready.
So let's go. I can take a photo or a video of all saying, are you ready? Let's quickly do it. Okay, Ireland, are you ready?
Born ready.
Are you ready?
Born ready.
Kobus, ladies and gentlemen, developing himself. Thank you.
Fantastic. You can tidy up your glass afterwards. We'll get out. Okay, we've one final speaker on a little bit of time now. Kobus' fault, absolutely fantastic inspiration there, and a very kind offer. Our final speaker is Paul O'Mahony. He comes all the way from Inna in County Clare, and he runs Financial Freedom and the Rethink Academy. He's an online entrepreneurial training program. But today he's going to speak to you particularly about working with young kids between 7 and 17 years of age and how to make the next generation of entrepreneurs. Please welcome our final speaker, Paul O'Mahony.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Can we start by just giving a huge round of applause to everybody that's put this incredible event together? Elaine, Kapil, Ivan. I think they deserve a massive round of applause. I'm going to to keep this really short, okay? 10 minutes tops. This is something that you will want to know something about if you have any child or teen still at home. Any of you parents? Can I just see by a show of hands? Okay, so you're not in a rush home really at all then. But we just want to finish off today on the note of thinking about leaving a legacy and what can we do as entrepreneurs in Ireland to help pass the baton to the next generation. And when I spoke here about 5 years ago, I was speaking about my company that helps entrepreneurs grow businesses online, but today it's specifically about the next generation. And to be fair, it's never been tougher for parents. I'm sure you'll agree. When we went to school, if you remember, the first thing that we all learned how to do was how to fold our arms and cover our mouth at the same time. So we literally,